Changed by the bosses to be here in Brooklyn for the busy news day. Jock Vaughn will be the interim head coach, replacing Steve Nash. Sean Marks, the general manager of the Nets, vehemently denying multiple media reports that he has already tabbed former Boston Celtics head coach Ime Udoka as his next head coach. He says, absolutely not. We have not hired one yet. He says, we would like to get back playing the basketball that we know we can play. We are not proud of where we are. Where are we? Let's quickly just go through a litany that could probably take about 3 hours to go through of what's happened with this organization in now the fourth season since KD and Kyrie joined the Nets. Think about it. Kenny Atkinson fired. The future young core of the Nets shipped out, in addition with future draft picks for James Harden. Then this team sees injuries at different times to Kyrie, KD, Harden. Kyrie has that mysterious leave of absence. Kyrie unvaccinated, unable to play multiple games. Harden then forces the trade out to Philadelphia. The Nets get back some compensation in Ben Simmons, but doesn't play a single game last year. They're swept in the first round by Boston. KD then asks for a trade, realizes he doesn't get it. Then he asks for Steve Nash to be fired. That didn't happen over the summer. It would later. There's the foreshadowing. Kyrie, just a couple of days ago, sends out a cryptic tweet with a video, with a link to a video that has anti-Semitic messaging. Provides no context for it. When questioned about it, refused to answer those questions. Nash then fired. There is a report now, as I mentioned, that Ime Udoka will be the next head coach. The issue with him, he's currently on a one-year suspension from the Boston Celtics guys for inappropriate behavior within the Celtic organization. Oh, and by the way, Ben Simmons tonight is going to miss his second straight game with a knee injury, and the Nets are off to a 2-5 start. So everything's great here in Brooklyn, even if the weather outside's a little cold and rainy, Ernie.
Like I said, nothing going on up there. Jared Greenberg, thank you for the thorough report. We appreciate that. Let's go to Carmex Call Your Shot. And Steve Nash, 2 full seasons and then 7 games into season number 3, out 94-67. Couple of trips to the playoffs, knocked out in the conference.
They fired him after a win. They fired this dude after a win. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2 wins. Am I right? I don't know. I mean, it's better to get fired after a win now.
I mean, they lost to Chicago.
I mean, that was Chicago that night, though. Yeah. I'm talking about when you got fired, though. They had just won.
They won the previous game. Man.
It's a lot, bro. You go first, man. I don't know what you thought. What you thinking about this,
bro? The Brooklyn Bridge is literally burning on fire, burning down.
Oof.
It is just turmoil, chaos, and destruction in Brooklyn right now. It's just anarchy.
Hey,
bro.
Hey, let's approach it this way. Did Steve Nash deserve to be fired? Let's approach it that way.
If you look at his record, 92-62 playoffs, does he deserve it? I'm not gonna sit up and say he deserved to be fired. And me personally, Steve Nash, when I was growing up, Steve Nash was one of my favorite point guards to watch. As a coach, it was questionable from the get-go. And I think we all kind of knew that, all agreed. But I'm not, against anyone getting a shot at an opportunity, even though there were others that considered other more experienced coaches to be more suitable for the job, which I agree with.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I don't think the word deserving is deserved is right for this situation exactly. But did it need to be done? Did he need to not be the coach of this team? Yes, I agree with that. So I agree with the firing, I guess, but I don't think he deserved it because I don't think he was put into a situation that was really suitable for a head coach first couple seasons of head coaching and having to deal with this organization. I'll just put it that way, because this, as Jared Greenberg said, as the list goes on and on and on and on. It's so much. It's so much going on, and this just happened to be some of the chaotic aftermath of all the other events that is, just falling in line with all the other dramatic downfall in Brooklyn. That's it's the Nets are terrible, man. The Nets organization right now is just terrible. I'm sorry. Everything. Players, coaching, leadership. The fans probably were just like, this is tough. Nets are just so disappointing as an organization, as a whole organization. I'm just so disappointed in this team. But the writing was on the wall, honestly. For Steve.
It was. There are some pundits in the media that predicted this a couple weeks ago. For real. They did. Like Stephen A. He predicted this a while back. Kendrick Perkins too. He called this a couple weeks ago too. So, I mean, did he deserve to be? I mean, I guess the word choice is somewhat difficult to use. I mean, I'm viewing it as is this his fault? Partly it's his fault. Then at the same time, it's not his fault. It's weird. So this is the situation. He was like backed up to be the coach by KD and Kyrie, right? But at the same time, before he started, Kyrie is like, we don't need a coach. We all the coach. I can coach. KD can coach. So right there, it's already undermining your authority where you don't really have a good shot. So it's like, you kind of deserved it. You kind of did based on the actions. But this is my main reaction here, though, to this. You remember over the summer, Kevin Durant was trying to get out of Brooklyn. He gave the Nets an ultimatum. Is me or Steve Nash or Sean Marks? Joe Tsai was like, we're in this thing together. Ultimately, KD came back on track. Right?
Right.
What changed? I mean, yeah, y'all were losing some games. But to be fair, there were a lot of distractions going on. Especially over the course of this past week. By one of your players. Ben Simmons has not been performing up to snuff. And he's been out. Again. Steve Nash did lose the locker room. That's true. And when you lose the locker room, you gotta change the voice somehow. You do. But at the same time, it's like, as the Nets organization, it's like you're still giving in to the players. Kevin Durant called for this a while back. And Joe Tsai and Sean Mark, y'all stuck together and you stood up to the players like, no, this is how it's going to run. And me thinking, like, to the side over here, I'm thinking, okay, y'all getting some backbone now. You're going to stand up to the players now and tell them no. But with everything going on this past week, even Kyrie stuff, and now this, it's like, you just give it in again. Bro, where's the accountability, man? I do believe Steve Nash is kind of the scapegoat here. He kind of is. He kind of is. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, he did allow some things to happen. But to be fair, it's gonna be hard for any coach to deal with all that crap. I mean, that was a lot. Mm-hmm. It's hard for any coach to deal with that.
Man, it absolutely is just difficult to be in that locker room in these multiple situations at this point. And to your point, I agree that it's unfair to blame Steve Nash for some things, but also the Brooklyn Nets don't even know what the word accountability means.
Sure.
And this is my other thing about Steve Nash, like in general, at least head coach Steve Nash. Like I said, inexperienced, first-time head coach.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming into a situation, which is honestly coming into it, you have quote unquote a good situation, right? You have, all right, you got Kyrie Irving on paper, you got Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and at that time, many other talented players. Oh, you trade for James Harden. Oh, you got the best big three in the league right then, and all of a sudden, injuries happen, antics. It all falls apart. Oh, Harden wants out. Kyrie's sitting out. All of a sudden, Greenberg just named, right? And it's just a lot. Coming into it, you expect, all right, I'm a first time head coach. I got a great team. I'm gonna be set. But then here comes the other side of it, the mental part of the game of this job of a head coach position is not just, all right, let's run these plays. All right, Kevin, you had these many possessions. Kyrie's your turn. No, you can't just sit on the sideline and be like, all right, you guard this guy. All right, let's run the pick and roll on the right side. There's more to it. You have to gain the respect, the trust, and you have to request greatness and pour greatness into the team. And I don't think that Steve Nash was exactly put into a situation where he could do that to the best visibility with him being who he is. Like, I think that Steve is a very chill kind of guy. Until maybe this week, it was the first time like he got, first time he got thrown out of a game. I don't remember him getting that heated during his playing years. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he's not the, all right, I'm going to rally the team and, discipline, make sure they're following this. He's more of like, all right, I'm a player, you're a player type of coach. And I don't think he was ready to deal with that type of mental challenging type of environment that he had to deal with. You got big personalities, not along with big names. That's a lot to do. That's a lot for a first-time head coach.
It is.
Especially for a team that's still trying to figure out, honestly, who they are. Because, all right, we got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, but who is this team? What can we do? What have we done? So I think that as a head coach, you have to find the balance between, all right, let me make sure I advocate for my players, but also let me make sure I'm the leader of the ship, and no one's questioning that. And I feel like you said, Kyrie Irving coming out saying we're the coach is like, dang, bro, like you like openly disrespected your coach. I'm Steve Nash. You openly disrespected me in a way, and it's like from there on, it was broken, and this just wasn't to me. If I think Steve Nash can be a great coach because he did a decent job. Like his record, he had great players to work with, and he had a decent record, like a winning record at that. But this year, as we've seen over these past few seasons, nothing has went well. Nothing has went to what they expect the Brooklyn Nets to be. So they had to make a change. And honestly, for me, I expected Steve Nash to be out of Brooklyn. Maybe not in 7 games, but 15, 20. I would have expected this maybe a couple weeks more into the season, but this was just like, dang, all right. And after Josiah made his position clear that, oh, it's us together, Steve Nash, we're gonna move forward and we're gonna work. Dang, bro, like, all right, you switched up really quick, huh?
Basically,
I could see that, like 15, 20 games, they're still like trash. Yeah, but dang, 7 games. You didn't even make the 10 double digits. You didn't make the double digit mark of games in the season. It's kind of unfair, but also Steve Nash as a head coach has to grow from this, and he didn't rein the horns in of his team in time. So it's just an unfortunate situation for him. I feel for him, but also I'm like, as a head coach, you have to take on that position and you have to be the leader at the end of the day.